1 minute to the show.
You didn't put your mic on, honey. I'm giving it to you now. Okay?
Yeah.
I plug it in. Or attach it to your
My,
cleavage.
my,
Yeah.
my lapel?
You're on, so they can hear you.
Okay.
Jordan said not to be late next week. He's going to replace you with Vanna White.
Oh, okay. You don't scare me, Jordan.
I got a lot of books to talk about. And
Books and supplies.
yeah, I have lots of supplies too.
Gino, stay away from the tool.
Make sure that dog is on time tonight. Not early either.
What? He's been early.
He steps on my line.
He wants to,
He's ready to go now.
Yeah, he wants up there now. Look, he's ready to jump.
No, he can't go on now. It's very unprofessional. You step on people's lines, Gino.
Yeah, don't jump on him. Don't jump on him. Do you need any of this stuff?
No, I thought maybe you needed it.
Oh, I don't.
You got the trivia down?
We do.
And don't forget to find somebody for random share sticker thing.
Keep the ride going.
Keep my eyes where?
Keep the ride going.
I'll keep the ride going. Yeah. Jordan, are we live? What are we doing?
You're live.
I'll tell you about what you're going to see on the show tonight. In the Next Time Try This segment, we've got a real neat little trick that came in from somebody who wants to remain anonymous, yet he's operating the camera and all the sound. In the Moto Showcase, we've got a 1978 Honda CR 250. Here's the problem. You've got questions. We've got answers. What's it worth in OSA with the Joe Boulder suspension in it? Race Day Live. We got some coverage from Ward Creek. We've got trivia returning tonight. It's always a lot of fun. Just how I see it. Just how I see it segment, I think is going to be pretty interesting. And what it entails is, what is a product that came out that you longed for, you were waiting for to get for your bike? Maybe it was Preston Petty fenders. Maybe it was a certain part that some manufacturer is just beginning to reproduce. I know for me, well, it's been a variety of things, and we're going to be talking a little bit about ignition covers like this. So maybe it was an ignition cover or some other part. Anyway, start commenting early on. I want to know what it is that you longed for, and finally it was reproduced by somebody. We've got all that and a whole lot more coming up on the show tonight. Good evening, everyone. You're watching Vintage Motocross Q&A, and I'm your host, Joe Abadi. Thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you, Jordan, Chelsea, and Susie for helping me put the show together. And, of course, you, once again, the viewers at home. Don't forget, if you're watching the show, share it. Tell your friends about it. If you're watching on Facebook, keep sharing the show. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to comment, say Motion Pro. And a little bit later on in the show, there will be a random share giveaway winner. They'll get a beautiful sticker sheet like this, compliments of Vintco.com. And their tagline is what, Susie? Keep the ride going, Vintco.com. The YouTube channel is going really well. You can see all of our interviews, see all of our shows from the past almost 3 years. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel. When you do, you'll get an alert just like this. Tells you when we're live on YouTube. As always, I want to thank all of our sponsors. Oh, no. I don't want to thank our sponsors just yet. I want to tell you the best way to enjoy the show is from your big screen TV. You can sit back on your couch, on your big screen TV. You can watch the show and comment from your phone. It's a great way to enjoy Vintage Motocross Q&A. And now I would like to thank our sponsors: Motion Pro, Vintco, Racer X, Preston Petty Products, Full Circle Racing, Northwest Mako CZ, Sunrise Vapor Blasting, and the International Motocross Museum. Tonight's Next Time Try This segment is a quick tip that will help you when you're trying to install your rear wheel. We've all done the dance with the rear wheel and the spacer when trying to position it so we can slide the axle through. The spacer keeps falling out over and over, and your frustration rises. On this particular bike, a 1978 Mako, we're taking a 7/16 deep socket, which happens to be about the same diameter as the axle, and inserting it into the spacer in order to hold the spacer in position against the bearing while we wrestle the wheel into place. Once the wheel is in place, we drive the axle through and the deep socket is pushed out. Next time, try that. Jordan Woodworth in the Moto Showcase tonight. We take a look at a 1978 Honda CR250 that was sent into us by Tom Miller. Jordan's going to go through the slides while I read to you a little bit about Tom's bike. So the last bike I raced as a pro in the 1970s was this 1978 Honda CR250. Great memories, and the bike has a special place in my heart. While in the Air Force, I got the itch to restore the old CR, not restore as in all original, but to make it nice and clean and rideable. So I could have one in 1995. I started going through it. Actually, I found a nickel. Yes, a 5-cent nickel in the transmission. Try fitting a nickel through an air filter hole. Well, anyway, so I did all the work, and I did all the work in base housing in Los Angeles Air Force Base in Southern California. I had the cylinder board 80 over and had it Nickel plated. I had to replace a couple of the tranny gears and a shift fork. I put an 83 CR 480 front end on it. I ran Fox Air shocks for a while, and I just had a little bit of a problem with the bladders, so I changed them. It was a really fast and fun bike to own. I rode it last at Glen Helen on a practice day a few times, and it always got a lot of positive attention. About 10 years ago, I decided to go through the bike again, repainting, powder coating, etc. I just wanted it to look as it did when it was new, and then sell it. I really enjoyed the tear down and the rebuild. Tinkering with old air-cooled bikes is very, very therapeutic for me. It was a great time, and I love this bike. I really enjoy the show. Thanks for featuring it. Well, Tom Miller, thank you for sending your bike in. If you get me your address, Tom Miller, I will get you a cup just like this, compliments of Vintage Motocross Q&A, and Preston Petty products. Tom Miller, of course, the guy who's heading up a lot of things over there at the International Motocross Museum. There it is, Tom Miller's 78 CR250. The segment of that show is brought to you by Preston Petty products. And you know, I go over to the Preston Petty product website every week to check out some new products. Well, not necessarily new products, but to see what we're going to run as a special this week. In the bargain basement, this is really great. There are fenders in there that I know are at least 10 or 15 bucks off. He's got the number plate or the headlight extension mounts. Those are on closeout, 50% off. And he's got a white Mutter fender, okay? I think it was like $29.95. These are blems, okay? When they come out of the mold, sometimes they aren't perfect. Paul will not put them out there with the general population, so to speak, but they will run a special on it. He's also got specials going on for some bike stands and some lifts and some red Mutter fenders or MX fronts as well. Get over to PrestonPettyProducts.com, click on Bargain Basement. There's some really great specials in there. Get them while they last. Thank you, Paul Stannard. And if you want to become a dealer for Preston Petty Products, it'd be an excellent time to contact Paul Stannard. He'll hook you up with everything you need to become a Preston Petty dealer. Thank you, Paul. And here's the problem segment tonight. We take a look at some of the questions you've sent in over the past week, and we'll try and answer them as quickly as possible. Who do we have first? Lincoln Smith. I'm rebuilding my 1981 Honda CR450, and I'd like your opinion on what the best case splitter is. Lincoln sent in an actual picture of the bike that he is restoring. He's doing a beautiful job on it. I don't know if Jordan has a picture of the bike. There it is. The CR450. It's coming along really nicely. That tank is plastic, shines beautifully. I guess you use some VMX fenders on there. But anyway, getting back to the question. For the money, the best case splitter comes from Motion Pro. No question about it. Get over to motionpro.com. You get a case splitter just like that. Kind of a universal thing. It'll fit a lot of different engines that you may be working on. And there's really no substitute for that. Okay? I think the days are long gone where you start off with a spackle knife and work your way up through some screwdrivers and chisels. That's just not how we do things anymore. Get a case splitter from Motion Pro. Paul Scheiss, what's the best way to store a steel gas tank during the winter months? Well, if you're going to keep it on the bike and you have it in your garage, I would recommend filling it with gas, then putting some fuel stabilizer in there. That's a great way to do it. You should run the bike out of gas, though, first. Check the petcock, make sure it doesn't leak, and you can put some fuel stabilizer in your tank with a full tank of gas. You fill it up to about 90%, top it off with the stabilizer, and you should be good. Now, if you are in a position to where maybe there's a heater in your garage or you're not very comfortable with having gas in your tank, take the tank off the bike, wash it out with alcohol, keep the cap off, put some oil in there, clean motor oil, slosh it all around, and make sure you move it maybe once a month. You rotate it a little bit, keep oil in there. That'll keep the rust from building up inside of your steel tank. But the best way, and a great product, is AMSOIL gas stabilizer. You could use that. Fill the tank up just about all the way and top it off with the stabilizer, and you'll be good come springtime. Don't forget, drain the carburetor or run the bike out of gas before you do that. Thanks for the question, Paul. Russell Waters, formerly a sponsor with AMSOIL. Russell Waters, I recently was accosted on Facebook for asking if a bike that was for sale had a title. Can you discuss the importance of a title for an off-road bike? I certainly can, Russell, and I did see that post, and it surprised me a bit. Number one, there are states in America that do have state-run parks. Certainly California, I know North Carolina does as well, and I'm sure there are many others. To ride in those parks with an off-road bike, you need to have a sticker. Sometimes it's a green sticker, sometimes it's a red sticker. In order to do that, you need to have a title to do that. So yes, and also if you're shipping a bike out of the country, a lot of people are doing that, sending bikes to Australia and other countries, you probably need a title to get the bike out of the country. So when people come down on you as if it's something, I don't know, humorous, when you ask if you have a title for a dirt bike, a vintage motocross bike, it's actually a pretty serious matter. Not in all cases, and yes, if you're only going to race the bike somewhere, no, maybe you don't need it. But for you to ask that question and for people to kind of come down on you like that, I don't think it was fair, and I think your question was certainly reasonable. And yeah, having a title to a dirt bike would be a great idea. Not always possible, but yes, and it's a sensible question. Thank you, Russell.
Hi, I'm Tommy Croft, and you're watching Vintage Motocross Q&A with Joe Abadi. We'll be right back with my dear friend Joe.
Oh, Gary Trapper.
Hi, I'm Sean Gager. We're here with Altus Motorsports. I'm Kevin Almeida's mechanic, bike number 16. We wanted to kind of show off the Motion Pro wrenches and all kinds of different tools that Motion Pro makes. You know, getting the job done, saving time is crucial, especially, you know, qualifying for trying to do a clutch change or anything like that. These speed wrenches are absolutely great to have. They make our lives absolutely way easier. Every single mechanic on the crew has many, many things in their toolbox, and we are very, very happy to have them on board.
Race Day Live. Jordan was up in Wards Creek over the weekend, and he's got some pictures, I think, for us. It was on July 30th and 31st. And Jordan will go through the slides. I'll tell you a little bit more. Look at this. Got quite a lineup of Makos there. And a lot of these pictures were taken by Mark Hector, who is going to have a website up real soon where you could purchase all the pictures of some races that Mark has gone to. And yeah, there he is, Jordan Woodworth, Fritz, Curtis, Jeff, and Mark. That is... I guess it's some special race team they have up there in the Northwest. There's some more great pictures of the starting line. Has a Bultaco on the line, a Suzuki, and some other bikes there as well. Some beautiful women there at the Wards Creek race as well. There it is, first turn action coming from Wards Creek. Again, photographs by Mark Hector. Don't forget to check out his website. That'll be coming soon. Great style on the 77 Yamaha. I don't know who this is. I think that's on a Yamaha also, but yeah, great pictures from Mark Hector. Look at that beautiful scenery too. Not too many places you can go where there's beautiful pine trees in the background, some shaded area on the track, keeping that dirt nice and moist in the shaded areas. And there they are. I don't know if it's, they're giving away, I guess the trophies were nice, those nice medals. It's a nice thing to have too. So anyway, all the photographs were compliments of Mark Hector. I want to thank Jordan for going up there and getting some coverage for us at the Ward Creek event that I've been talking about on the show for the past couple of weeks. Thank you again, Mark Hector and Jordan. In the What's It Worth segment tonight, we're going to be taking a look at a 1975 OSA 250 Phantom. A couple of weeks ago, actually, I think it was back in late June. Jim Hollerich, who had the New England Motocross Museum. I think that was the name of it. I'm sorry. If it's not, I apologize. Anyway, it was Jim Hollerich. He had a beautiful, it was a trail bike museum in New England. He passed away, and he had an absolutely incredible collection. He was a big OSA collector. He also had a lot of signs and boots and memorabilia and autographed things from the Pentons and so many other people that had to do with Spanish bikes. Paul Stannard was there the day they had a special ride, and Jim Hollerich was able to see it. Shortly after that, Jim Hollerich passed on. And his last wishes were to have his collection auctioned off, and that's where this OSA Phantom comes into play. Now, this is the part of the show where I ask you to guess what you think this bike recently sold for. There wasn't a huge write-up on it in the description, but I can tell you if it was the Jim Hollerich collection, the bike was properly restored. I know he was quite friendly with Joe Bolger. This bike does have the Joe Bolger suspension on it. It is also autographed by Joe Bolger himself. Okay, so the bike was restored properly, and I wanted to get a little background on this, as they call it, BLT, the Bolger long travel suspension. And I got on the phone this afternoon with Keith Linus, probably the world's foremost authority on the OSA brand, right up there with Alex Snoop, I would say, one on the East Coast, one on the West. Anyway, Keith Linus explained to me that there were approximately 100 Bolger long travel suspension OSAs made. And they were put on the Mountaineer, the Pioneer, the Super Pioneer, the Plunker, which was a trials bike, and very, very few were put on the 75 OSA 250 Phantom. Less than 100, and the least of them were on the 1975 Phantom. This bike did go for sale at an online auction. Okay, you didn't have to be present, and it wasn't eBay. It was an auction house that did handle the Hollerich collection. So there it is, beautifully restored, autographed by Joe Bolger, out of the Hollerich collection, which was very, very famous. All of his bikes were correct and very, very well done. How much do you think this bike sold for? $8,000? $9,000. This bike sold for just $5,000. $5,000 from Jim Hollerich collection, 1975 OSA Phantom with the Joe Bolger suspension, $5,000 bucks. Full Circle Racing is still running a great special. And if you watch the show every week, you can probably tell me what the special is. What is it? That's right. Tom McAllister's powder coating hubs for just $50 a hub. For $10 more, he'll do the backing plate as well. That is in satin black and gloss black. For $20 more, he will make them any color in the Crayola crayon box for just $20 more. Get a hold of Tom McAllister at Full Circle Racing, whether your bike is on-road, off-road, adventure bike, dual purpose, speedway, you name it. Tom McAllister will get you a set of wheels up there, can do what all the big boys do at less cost. And he's a big supporter of vintage motocross throughout the Northwest. He's also got the great special going on, Susie, the backing plate, just $179, made of T6061 aluminum. Tom's been making these things for 20 years, makes a batch of them. When he runs out, he makes another batch. $179. If you don't like the logo, Tom will get it for you for just $169. Get a hold of Tom McAllister at Full Circle Racing. Thank you, Tom. Trivia returns. It's everybody's favorite evening, the first Wednesday of the month, and we do have a great book that we'll be giving away right here, Discovering 6 Days by Keith Geisner. Another fabulous work of his writing ability. Yeah, he had that Finding Number 49 that was going like hotcakes, and we gave him away here on the show for about a year. Now we've got this new book, Discovering 6 Days. So put on your thinking cap. I am going to give you the question rather, to tonight's trivia. This is a call-in contest. If you were watching this in a recorded thing on Facebook or you're on YouTube, do not call in. This is a live contest. Jordan, what is the question? He raced for Factory Team Honda, Rokon, and Harley Davidson. He raced for all three of those. Who is he, and what are his two nicknames? He rode for Factory Honda, Factory Harley, Factory Rokon. and he had 2 nicknames. What is his name? What are his 2 nicknames? Call in now, 925-234-8181. I think he watches the show sometimes too. He would know the answer. And yeah, 925-234-8181. What is his name? What are 2 nicknames? What's next, Jordan? Did you know? This segment of the show is sponsored by Sunrise Vapor Blasting, one of my favorite aftermarket or outside service guys. Yeah. Now, did you know that Honda went dirt tracking? Honda, I mean, Harley, Yamaha, a lot of them were in the dirt tracking game throughout the 50s, 60s, 70s. Honda didn't get in until the 80s. And Chris Carter, who, of course, is the founder of Motion Pro, put this beautiful book together with Gerald Foster. Okay, this is a 500-page book with over 60 interviews in it. This is an instant collector's item. Only 1,000 of them will be released. Okay, it chronicles the fascinating history and the development of Honda Dirt Track program from the 1980s into the 1990s. As I mentioned, it is written by Gerald Foster and Chris Carter. Contains over 60 interviews with riders and engineers and other people involved in the development of the Honda Dirt Trackers. Over 560 pages. It's a perfect gift for anybody that loves motorcycles in your family, or a nice gift to yourself. An instant collector's item, over 500 pages, only 1,000 are being produced. I'm going to have Chris Carter either on the Sunday show coming up or on Vintage Motocross Q&A on a Wednesday night. We're going to talk more about how this book came together. I knew it took him quite a while to do. There's one of those fabulous Honda Dirt Trackers right there. So, did you know that Chris Carter wrote a book? Along with being an international 6-day trials gold medal winner and starting that fabulous company that we all love, Motion Pro, since 1984. Thank you, Chris Carter. I'll be seeing you Saturday at someone's 40th anniversary party, and we'll talk more about when we're going to have you on the show. Sunrise Vapor Blasting. If it floats, flies, or rolls, you want to get it over to Mark Farias at Sunrise Vapor Blasting. He'll take it and make it look like brand new. It's the best thing you can do, whether you're going to polish a part afterward or you're going to paint it. Every good job starts off with vapor blasting. There's nothing quite like it. It'll come back cleaner than new. And if it's got the similar metals on it, like an aluminum carburetor that's got some brass fittings, well, that's just perfect too, because Mark takes great care of what he does in that magical cabinet of his. Get a hold of Mark Farias there at Sunrise Vapor Blasting. Fast turnaround time, reasonable rates. And if you want to drive it down there, if you're in the central to Northern California area, he's right down there in Modesto, Sunrise Vapor Blasting. Don't forget, you got to call in, 925-234-8181. We're going to take a commercial break. Keep sharing the show, but if you know the answer to the trivia question, and I'll give you the question again, don't go to the commercial yet, Jordan. He rode for Factory Honda, Factory Rokon, Factory Harley Davidson. He also has 2 nicknames. Who am I talking about? Call in now, 925-234-8181. Call in. Susie is standing by. Now we can go to the commercial. We'll be back with a winner.
Vinco, who already has a full line of vintage parts, now has air shocks that are an exact duplicate of the original air shocks so popular in the late 70s. So whether you're looking to build a full racer or museum showpiece, these shocks will give you that incredible 70s look and improve your bike's performance. These new air shocks are fully rebuildable with Vinco rebuild kits, and all shocks are hand assembled in the USA with all new components. Every component is brand new. Just like the originals, our air shocks are adjustable with 2 chambers, high and low pressure, giving you tremendous flexibility for settings of your bike suspension. The Vinco air shocks come fully assembled and ready for installation. Just add air or nitrogen. The kits include the manual and spacers. Visit Vinco.com to check out the air shocks and all that Vinco has to offer to help you get back on track and to keep that ride going.
All right, Jordan, don't forget, people have to call in for the trivia. To be a winner in the trivia contest, you have to call in 925-234-8181. The answer to the trivia contest, the guy's actually watching the show. So if you want to call in, I would take your call. All right. in the Just How I See It segment. We were talking a little bit earlier in the show about some of the products that you may have bought for your bike, a product that came out or you wanted to come out and it wasn't available and you were really, really excited about it. So what has been a long-awaited part that you've needed and someone reproduced? I know for me it was RM 125 fenders, 75 RM 125 fenders. I restored one way back 2000, 2001, and I couldn't find a rear fender for it then. I restored two after that. I was able to find them. And so comment about what it is that you were really thrilled that somebody finally reproduced and you were able to buy and put on a bike that you restored or you raced today. And the reason this topic came up tonight, and it's just how I see it, is because someone has reproduced this, an ignition cover just like this. And in fact, this is it. And it's made of resin. This is the actual metal one. This is the resin one. You cannot tell the difference because this one was copied from an NLS part. It is absolutely phenomenal. A wonderful gentleman named William Stahl actually sent this to me so I could see it and have it here on the show. It is paintable. This cover right here, right now, is not painted, but I can assure you it is a perfect match. I matched it up with an NLS gasket that I have. I even put it on a set of cases that I had. So this is available from some retail dealers, or you can get a hold of William Stahl, and he will sell you one directly. They're $149, and you need one of these. You know you do. If you're running one that's in one piece on your race bike now, get it off. Go buy one of these for $149. Put that on your race bike and put that good cover away. What about some other pieces that you guys were waiting to come out? Who purchased them? What are we doing now? Because I got a lot going on. Did we get a caller yet?
Yeah.
Who is it?
Gail Carter?
Gail Carter? Let me ask Jordan. Hey, Jordan.
Oh, Jerry, hold on.
Hey, Jordan, you ready to do the trivia, the giveaway?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. This is Joe Abadi. You're live on Vintage Motocross Q&A. Who am I speaking with?
I just can't get her name. It's Jerry.
Who?
It's Jerry.
Jerry.
You're Gail. I told him it was Jerry.
Is it Jerry or Gail? What are your pronouns? Him and her, his, theirs? Who am I talking to?
This is Jerry and Gail Carter.
Jerry and Gail Carter. He was a factory rider for Honda.
Jerry Carter.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was a factory rider for Honda, Rokon, and Harley Davidson.
Answer the question. I'm Jerry, and it's my wife's cell phone, and she's Gail.
Okay. So what's the answer? What is the answer to the trivia question, Jerry?
Up this next week.
He told me.
Jerry. Jerry or Gail?
Killer Kudowski.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Don Killer Kadowski. He had another nickname too. Do you know what that one was?
It's Don Killer Kudowski.
He had a second. He had a second nickname too. And I just want to know if you might have known that. But you got it with Don Kadowski and Killer Kadowski. He was also known as Rokon.
No.
He was also known as Rokon Don there for a moment too. But anyway, I want to thank you for calling in. Susie's going to get your address, and we're going to get you a copy of Keith Geisner's book, Discovering 6 Days. So thanks for calling in. All right. There we go. I had a little confusion there because I think we were getting a little feedback as I was trying to watch the show and answer the question too. Don Killer Kadowski. Hey, Don Kadowski, if you're watching the show right now.
He called, actually.
Did he? Don Kadowski
Yeah.
did? Get him on the phone again. Call him back. I have never spoken to Don Kadowski on the phone. I have, of course, communicated with him like many of us have on Facebook, but I do want to talk to him. So if Susie gets Don Kadowski on the phone, make sure it's him. Get him on the phone. Don?
Hello.
Don Kadowski.
Yes, sir.
It's Joe Abadi. You're live on Vintage Motocross Q&A.
Good to talk to you, Joe. Good to be on.
Hey, obviously you were the trivia question tonight.
Yes, sir. I was watching.
Great. Hey, Don, I was wondering, and, we've never spoken on the phone before, but I was wondering if maybe next Wednesday at this time, you would like to give me an interview here on the show. What do you think?
Absolutely. Looking forward to it, Joe.
All right, here's what I'll do. I will contact you and we'll put like a Zoom meeting together or something like that. So next week on Vintage Motocross Q&A, my guest will be Don Kadowski. Don, thanks so much.
You're welcome, Joe. Enjoying the show. You're doing a great job. I appreciate that.
Thank you very much. I'll talk to you in the next day or so, Don.
Very good.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
There you go. To my viewers, I just set up an interview with Don Kadowski for next Wednesday, so we know what we'll be doing on the show next week. Don Kadowski. We're going to have a lot of fun with him, guaranteed. What do we got up next, Jordan? This week in motocross history. Or do you want me to announce the random share giveaway? Want me to do the random share giveaway, or will that when we come back from commercial?
Yeah, random share.
What's good? Do it now?
Yeah.
Okay. The random share giveaway winner is Wendell Feliciano. Wendell Feliciano, you are tonight's random share giveaway winner. Get a hold of me and I will get you a beautiful sticker sheet like this, compliments of vintco.com. Wendell Feliciano, you are tonight's random share giveaway winner. This week in motocross history, brought to you by Racer X, is 1973. Chaplin, not Karsmakers. Edson Dye's still thriving Inter-Am Series visited Ward Robinson's Unadilla Valley Sports Center, and the winner was future four-time FIM Motocross World Champion Heikki Mikkola from Finland. Now, Mikkola won, and he topped the Czech rider Jaroslav Falta and the Dutchman Pierre Karsmakers, who rode for Yamaha and lived in America at that time. He was, of course, an expatriate from the Netherlands. He was considered top American, although he wasn't really an American at that time, for his third place finish. Though he was really the top AMA rider. He was not really the top American. The highest finishing U.S. rider was Gary Chaplin, who garnered a fourth on his Mako. Gary Chaplin, first American rider at Unadilla. 1973 was the first American that day. But with that win, Mikkola wrapped up his title for the World Championship race, and the Inter-Am Series cars makers took second. 1978, Tripes wins, and you know a lot of people say this. You ever see this on Facebook? Somebody will talk about some race, and a lot of people will say, "I was there. I was there." Well, it was 1978, and I remember it was July, and it was the US 250 GP, and I was there. At the first US 250 GP and motocross, Team Honda rider Marty Tripes and Jimmy Ellis tied for the win, with Tripes going 2-2 and Ellis going 3-1. But the overall win went to Tripes based on combined times over the two motos. That's the way they did it from the FIM. It was the combined time, and Marty Tripes did win the US GP that day. And yeah, I was there, and it was an amazing day. 1982, it's a first for KTM. Again, in Unadilla, in a race that was hoped to mark a home win for either one of the two Americans in the 250cc FIM Motocross World Championship, the title contender, Danny Laporte, or GP winner Mike Guerra. The U.S. round at Unadilla became historic for another reason. It saw KTM's first major moto win in America. Dutch rider Kees van der Ven emerged with the overall win, marking for him the first time KTM, or before that, Penton, stood atop the podium in the United States. Van der Ven went 3-1 to top in 2-3 of Yamaha's teenage prospect, Ricky Johnson. The 4-2 to soon-be world champ Laporte, and the 1-6 of Team Honda's David Bailey. Wow, KTM with their first win on American soil in 1982. And there you have it. That's what's happening this week in motocross history. In the announcements tonight, what do we have coming up first, Jordan? The International Motocross Museum. You heard me talking about this for the past couple of weeks, and this is a big event coming up on Wednesday, September 21st. And it will be about 30 miles outside of Chicago at a beautiful facility called Pinstripes. This is a couple of days before the Motocross of Nations, which happens on the 24th and the 25th. Now, if you would like to go and save $100 on your table, get a hold of me. My first table was sold out in a matter of a week and a half. My second table is about halfway sold out already, which means there are 6 seats left. Save $100, get a hold of me, and you will be there for a night of motocross stars like you have not seen. And I can assure you, it probably has not happened on American soil in quite some time. Now, the list keeps growing, but just this week, Terry Good has confirmed that Mr. Motocross himself, Torsten Hollman, will be there. Along with that, the Everts family, 10-time world champion, Stefan Everts, 4-time world champion, Harry Everts, along with his Poop 250. And the protege, the prospect, the kid that everybody's talking about, who's now involved in the GPs, young Liam Everts will be there too. So what are we talking about? The Everts family, Torsten Holman, Heike Mikla, Garrett Wolsing, Bob Hanna, Ricky Johnson, and a host of others to be announced. And last year, and I'm not saying they're going to be there this year, but last year, some of the greatest stories came out of the mechanics. It was wonderful to hear Keith McCarty and Dave Arnold talk about the 1976 season, that amazing season where Bob Hanna ran the water-cooled bike, and of course Marty Smith on the Type 2. And there are, how could we forget Oscar? Sasaki Oscar will be there, father of the Elsinore, created the RC 125 in 1973, coming all the way from Japan. There's going to be a lot of other people there too. You could save $100 on a seat. You could see people that have not been to America in quite some time, like Heike Mikla, who hasn't been here in 20 years. When was the last time he and Garrett Wolsing spoke? I don't know. When were he, Garrett Wolsing, and Heike Mikla, and the Everts family, and Torsten Holman all in a room at the same time? I couldn't tell you. But if you're there on September 21st, you're going to see it for yourself, get pictures, get autographs, sit down, have a great dinner. And Ricky Johnson and Jason Wygant will be your MCs, and I will be a co-MC. I will be a co-MC that night, along with Larry Whitmer. I'm really, really looking forward to it. I am honored that Terry Good has asked me to do that. Save $100 on your ticket. Get a hold of me. A night you will not forget, September 21st at Pinstripes in Northbrook, Illinois. I can't even say this. What is that? Muskoka Vintage? Got a Muskoka Vintage race. That's coming up in Port Sidney, Ontario. That's on August 27th and 28th. They're going to have motocross and enduro cross country. They got mini bikes. It's the 4th annual motorcycle race, and they'll be there at Thornbrook, 4 Max Road, Port Sidney, Ontario. The Burnworth, doing it again. SoCal Vintage MX Fall Classic coming up on October 15th. This will be the 3rd running of the Marty Smith Memorial Cup, and I don't think we have a slide for it, but there's the Carlsbad Reunion coming up too. I think that's September 1st. Here it is, Carlsbad Reunion, September 4th. That's at Bruise Brothers down in beautiful San Diego. A great time. A lot of motocross stars show up for that too. There's an amazing bike contest. Food is phenomenal. It's a micro brewery. Get to rub elbows with a lot of guys, a lot of your Facebook friends, a lot of motocross guys that come down there, Ricky Johnson, David Bailey, Donnie Hansen. Saw a lot of guys there over the years. And Scott and Debbie Burnworth selling T-shirts and just creating a great atmosphere for all of us guys who love vintage motocross. Finish Line is brought to you by Alan West. Alan West. You ever see the movie E.T.? E.T. Phone Home. Alan West. Phone Joe. I haven't heard from him in a while, Alan. Northwest Mako CZ always has a variety of things out there for sale. Clutch plates, brake shoes, kill buttons, bangles, and bobbles. Get a hold of Alan Brown at Northwest Mako CZ. It is like a Christmas commercial. T-shirts and hoodies are still available for just $19.99. They come in gray and white. They have our logo across the front, my autograph across the back. It's never too late to get a hoodie. Winter will be just around the corner. Or you could sit by a nice campfire in the summer wearing your Vintage Motocross Q&A hoodie. Follow the link in the show description. Get yourself a shirt today. Vintage Motocross Q&A sponsorship opportunities are still available. You can get on the board behind me and see the same benefits as Motion Pro, Preston Petty Products, Vinco, Sunrise Vapor Blasting, Northwest Mako CZ, Racer X, the International Motocross Museum, and Full Circle Racing, and my good friends over at the York Swap Meet, Bill Nazarod. I can't wait. I know you may not be looking forward to winter, but I'm looking forward to winter and getting out there to the York Swap Meet and that beautiful banquet that you have the night before. So get a hold of me if you're looking to become a sponsor for Vintage Motocross Q&A. It's not as expensive as you think. That wraps it up for tonight on Vintage Motocross Q&A. I want to thank everyone for watching. Jordan, Chelsea, and Susie for helping me put the show together. Congratulations to Wendell Feliciano. He was the Random Share giveaway winner. And I mean, Susie's got the name, but there was a little confusion on the phone call. And but we did have a trivia contest, and we gave away the book by Keith Geisner. And you heard it here first. I took the call from Don Kadowski live I'll be here next Wednesday with a live interview with Don Kadowski. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Vintage Motocross Q&A. Gino, you're like a big gobble. You're a big ham, Gino. Good night, everybody.